Alright, we're in round one. This is a keep. Opponent is on the play. So I guess we can go Seed Sculptor into Guide, or we can do Guide, I guess technically, into Seed Sculptor. But, I mean, do I want a turn 2, 2-3? It's not bad. What's our opponent got? Cobra. Well, I guess now I kind of want to just... Yeah, we'll play the Seed Sculptor here. Next turn, I presumably can attack with it. If I can't, I can attack in with a Torch Gauntlet Seed Sculptor later. But next turn I can do Apprentice Torch Gauntlet as well, which is kind of good. Glint Sleeve Artisan. Yes. Okay. It's an interesting choice. So I guess my opponent can trade a Servo and an Artisan, or just an Artisan for my Seed Sculptor. So I guess that is something. Gerber Guide's looking really good right now. Let's just get Apprentice out there with a Torch Gauntlet. And we'll pass. Find a better opportunity to attack in. I don't think I have any +1/+1 counter value stuff, so it probably makes more sense to just equip the Apprentice and attack in. It does let my opponent trade the Cobra for the Apprentice, but I'm not sure that matters. Yeah, so I think if my opponent has artifact removal, this is a problem, but we're just going to equip the Apprentice and attack with it. Offer the trade with the Cobra. Follow up with the Thriving Grubs. Alright. Trade our 1-drop for their 2-drop. Oh, alright. Trade a pretty good trick for our 1-drop. I'm okay with that too. And we'll play the Grub. So next turn, we can equip up the Seed Sculptor, swing with the Grub and the Seed Sculptor, and then play a Gerber Guide. Ah, Riparian Tiger. Sure. So our opponent can't give Death Touch now. And both of our guys can technically deal with the Tiger. Well, that's actually not a bad draw either. So what do we want to do? I guess we equip Seed Sculptor and swing with it. And then we'll play a Gerber Guide. This Torch Gauntlet is doing a lot of work right now because it's letting us continue to attack in here. Just chumping, which is kind of a interesting choice. So, I mean, next turn I can make it so the Seed Sculptor can't be blocked by anything but the Riparian Tiger. And Sky Skiff, I guess technically equipped with a Torch Gauntlet is something I can do. It's a lot of sort of upkeep. My opponent must have something else big, otherwise this attack doesn't make a ton of sense. Because I feel like we're kind of a little bit more on the offensive. Alright, Pima Outrider is pretty reasonable. 4/4, sure. Ooh, larger than life. Okay. So let's see. I can attack with Seed Sculptor. My opponent can block and give Death Touch, and then I play another Guide and a Sky Skiff. And that way I can block with Sky Skiff and Gear Per Guide on an Outrider and just trade off one or the other. I'm okay with that. So let's attack with the Seed Sculptor. I guess technically I can't. I can actually keep the Seed Sculptor back now. Yeah, you know, that actually makes more sense. There's no need to trade the Cobra for the Seed Sculptor now if I can, especially since my opponent dealt 6 to me. So let's just play Sky Skiff plus Gear Per Guide. Okay. I guess I should have activated Sky Skiff in response, but I'm not going to block with the Thriving Grub anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. All right, so go like this and double block the Tiger. Okay. Infiltrator. Pretty nice. So, I guess we just equip up the Grub. We take more trample damage if I do it this way, but actually, maybe it makes more sense to attack with the Grub. Equip up the Guide, play the Infiltrator. That way, I still am, well, I mean, I'm more willing to trade a Grub for a Cobra, so I guess that makes sense. But then I guess my opponent can attack with the Artisan too. Yeah, especially since my guides can get past their blockers. That is true. Alright, so I think we're actually just equipping Grub, playing Infiltrator, and passing. Okay. All right. Okay. So, with 6 mana, I can make unblockable, or make it so my opponent can't block with these 3. Get in with Grub for 5, and then I can still re-equip to the Guide. But I'm at half my opponent's life, so that might be a bit dangerous. So it may make more sense to just... I'm trying to think here. I mean, I guess I can make the Infiltrator. Well, then they can block the Outrider. I see. So, if I attack with the Grub, maybe my opponent blocks with the Wild Wanderer too. If I do the Gear Per Guide ability. So I'm actually a little bit unsure. Since we're still a little bit behind. Opponent has no cards in hand though, which is good to note. I think we're just going to chill out for a while here. It's sort of a bummer that I'm probably going to have to make a bad trade for Toolcraft Exemplar. I could just attack with Grub too. Because if my opponent trades off the Cobra, they may just trade off the Wild Wanderer anyway. Or take 5, I don't know. But I think we'll pass. We're not in a great position to win a race at the moment. It's an interesting attack. So, can actually block the Grub there. There's a Freighter. It's pretty nice, actually. So let's equip up a Guide, play a Freighter, and then pass. Okay. Wondering why my opponent did that with the... I'm glad they did it with the Exemplar, but that was an interesting choice. So I could trade off my Freighter, but I like that Freighter unequipped with Torch Gauntlet can trade for Outrider. So I probably just trade my Gear Per Guide and take 4 trample damage. All right. Although, maybe I wanted to trade off the Freighter so I have like 3 blockers when I need them. I might have needed to do that, actually. Might have gotten a bit too excited for the little engine that could here. Yeah, I think in hindsight I should have blocked with the Freighter. We'd take 1 less trample, but I'd be left with my Gear Per Guide. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, I think we might even be dead now that I think about it. That block may have actually cost me the game there. I mean, we had quite the uphill battle regardless, so it's not like a major punt, but it definitely was incorrect. I mean, we could rip Chandra's Pyrohelix, and that just deals with these 2, which is pretty nice. Yeah, we might just die to the Pima Outrider because of trample. No attacks. curious. Giving us more time to draw action, but... Oh, I guess I should have sandbagged for Cathartic Reunion there. Did I forget to use Freighter? I think I did. I think I forgot to use Freighter. I got too surprised by my opponent's lack of attack. They must be afraid of like a trick or something, I'm not sure. Now they suddenly decide to attack, curiously. Let's see. Sure. All right. So we can go to game 2 here. I think we can win this. I feel good that we can win this. Yeah, we had Puzzle Knot and Pyrohelix that whole time. Those definitely would have like been game changing. So I think we're fine. We could even bring in another Puzzle Knot. Kill servos, which isn't exciting, but it does kill Cobra and the Exemplar. All right, I'll bring in the Puzzle Knot. And maybe we'll just cut a larger than life, which does help for pushing damage through, but I'd rather just be able to get stuff off the board, I think. So yeah, this is fine with me. Let's do this. All right, we'll play first. You know, if this was a red mana, I'd really consider keeping it because of the Cathartic Reunion, but I think we got a mulligan this one. All right, this is the example of where Cathartic Reunion looks good because, yeah, we'll keep the Pyrohelix on top too. But yeah, next turn I can discard a couple lands and hopefully find some gasoline. Okay. So I can wait on the Seed Sculptor. I'm not opposed, you know, honestly, I think I actually am going to wait on the Seed Sculptor. I'm going to leave up Pyrohelix. This is a little bit more difficult. I think I want to... I'm going to have a harder time dealing with a 3/3. The problem is the Torch Gauntlet on the little servo token is going to be a problem. But I think I have to Pyrohelix before they make the choice. Because if they make a 3/3, I just can't do anything about it, really. I mean, I guess I sort of can, but I think we'll just Pyrohelix here. So they're going to get the 1/1 that they're going to be able to equip with Torch Gauntlet, but that's all right. I'll live with it. Well, there you have it. There's our Puzzle Knot. So, all right. We'll play the Artist first here, and we're going to Hasty in. Doorbuster and Artist are actually really nice together, too. So we'll get our 3 damage in. Kind of hoping our opponent just equips and gets in. It's going to make this Puzzle Knot a lot better. And it's nice that the Doorbuster can get by blockers as well. Yeah, this is actually fine. Oh, and they don't even have a... Yeah, that's exactly what we want. All right, so I can do the Freighter. But I think we actually do Doorbuster here, because I can give it haste too. And then next turn I can give Freighter haste. Especially if I draw land, I can go Seed Sculptor Freighter, activate Freighter. Well, I'll have to put the counter on the... That's all right. That's all right. Not a huge deal. So let's give that haste. Guess we could get impeccably timed here. or ornamental couraged. All right, opponent had the goodies. Okay. That's actually good news. So now we can do all sorts of cool stuff here. I could Seed Sculptor the Doorbuster and I can attack into the Trumpeter without using the ability, but I would prefer to get Freighter down. So I think we're just going to attack with Doorbuster, get by this using the energy, and then Freighter plus Puzzle Knot. That sets me up for a better Seed Sculptor next turn. Puzzle Knot killing the Servo. So, yeah. All right. So we'll swing a Doorbuster. Get by blocker. Oh, that's too bad for us. All right. So we'll play the Freighter here and Puzzle Knot. I guess this is a little bit dangerous because now our opponent can equip the Gauntlet and swing for 4, but we can swing back for 5. And I guess our Seed Sculptor can still trade with Trumpeter next turn. Opponent's doing it pretty good here. Their spread of cards ended up a little bit better than ours, so it's going to be quite challenging. But, alright, so if I do Seed Sculptor, my opponent can crash back for what, 7, 8? Yeah, 8's a lot. 8 is a lot. That would put us to 2. But I guess I can Puzzle Knot the Servo. I guess we'll just attack with Freighter here. I think we're in pretty serious trouble at this point, but... Alright. I mean, technically, I have lethal next turn if my opponent has nothing, but I mean, that seems pretty unlikely that my opponent would have nothing. Alright. Okay. I see. So we'll take it all. The plan is to Puzzle Knot the Cobra at the end of my opponent's turn. Oh, geez. Opponent had all the goodies, huh? All right, well, unfortunately, this forces our hand. We got to kill the Servo to stay alive. All right. Opponent had some goodies. So we'll go to 1. I don't know how we're going to beat this one, though. We don't have the larger than life anymore. Larger than life would have done it, too, which is kind of funny. Bomat Courier. Well, it doesn't quite do it. So we're at 1. I can't prevent enough trample damage, but I suppose we'll force my opponent to do their attacks correctly here. All right. We got. We got. All right. We'll see round 2, my friends.